How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Bochum Career Mode. This is going to be episode number 28, and this is going to be the penultimate episode of the season. So exciting stuff. We're getting towards the business end of the season, and we really do need to win every game pretty much to at least give ourselves a fighting chance of claiming that first spot and pretty much winning the league. That's our aim. Anyway, obviously, just getting promoted to the Bundesliga is my main aim, but if we could win the league as well, that would probably be the cherry on top of the cake. Heading into today's first game of the episode, and it will be against Nuremberg. Obviously, a team that we do enjoy playing against. We've scored quite a few goals against them in the previous seasons, and we started the game off pretty well, pretty much the first few kicks of the ball, and we put the ball into the back of the net with Thomas Eisfeld. Fantastic finish by the captain for today, and Eisfeld nets his 8th goal of the season. Really nice finish by him, and that made it 1-0 in under 3 minutes. It was looking pretty nice for us and a great start for us. Thomas Eisfeld, as I said, getting the captain's armband, and I wasn't too sure how well he was going to do this season. Obviously, we lost Lee Chung-young. He was pretty much one of our best players, even though he didn't score a lot of goals. He was in those sort of attacking positions, sort of creating the second assist, basically, and he was always there in the attacking role. And I think when we lost him, I was a little bit worried we were not going to be able to create the same amount of goals, and Thomas Eisfeld's really stepped up and actually started scoring a lot more goals towards the end of the season as well. And I'm just really glad that he's just stepped up, really. I think he's been really good for us this season. Didn't go so well for Nuremberg after that goal, as in the 16th minute they conceded a penalty. I think it was a penalty. He got the ball, but just after he got the man, sadly for us, we couldn't finish that, and Rossi, who was stepping up to take it because Gonvula was still injured at this point, just skied it wide. Really bad miss by the Uruguayan. Luckily for us, we get plenty of chances in this game. Theo Baer with one of them. Sadly, couldn't put that into the back of the net. Luckily, I think it was pretty much a couple of minutes after, they cleared it poorly. We managed to get the ball back with some decent pressure, and Janelt goes ahead and slots that into the back of the net, making it 2-0 just before the 30-minute mark. Janelt there scoring, I think it was his first goal of the season at this point, and a really nice finish from the deep line midfielder, really. He doesn't get forward very often, and he has had a couple of chances this season. First chance that he's actually gone in the back of the net, though. Janelt getting his first goal, and to be honest, I'm not expecting Janelt to score many goals. He's got quite a few assists this season for us. I'm quite happy with his performance in general, but he's managed to net a goal there, making it 2-0. Nuremberg would pull a goal back, making it a little bit of a cagey end to the first half, as Dovdan there goes ahead and scores. Sadly for Dino, he just couldn't get his feet sorted there, and it's not necessarily his fault. The ball came at him quite quickly, but reaction-wise, not good enough, and I think it's a poor goal for us to concede at that point. Luckily for us, we would end the half as we started with a goal, and it is in the 4th added minute of extra time, even though it was only 3 added minutes. I think the Nuremberg manager would have something to say about that, but we don't mind as we go ahead and net the 3rd goal of the game. And if I'm being honest, Nuremberg's defence, there's something about it. We just love playing against them. We always score some goals against them, and it's just poor, really poor from them. And that was a first half for them to forget. Even though they scored, it was just a dreadful half. And if I were the Nuremberg fans, I'd be getting on the train to get straight back home, as the second half was not much better, as we actually started off pretty well and continued to just dominate. Barely any chances for them in the second half as well, and it was made worse here in the 60th minute as Schaefer was put through. He was just off the bench I decided to bring on some youth players, Schaefer and Andreo, I think, for our 2 midfielders, Janelt and Eisfeld, just to give them a rest, as I'd pretty much seen this game was out of Nuremberg's sight, and I wanted to give the youth a go. And Schaefer there scores his first goal for the club. Very nice for Mats. He's a good player and a little bit better. He plays much better than his rating, in my opinion. And I think he fully deserves that, as he's had a very good season for us, even though he's just off the bench. Most of the time he's only coming off the bench to actually make an appearance. He plays pretty well in the 45 minutes or less that he gets, so Definitely fully deserving of that. And Musa Kone, well, he hadn't scored since October in the last episode. He's scored 2 in 2 games now. Just off the bench, Musa Kone makes it 5, scoring his 5th goal of the season there. I thought of bringing on Musa Kone just to add a bit more pace to really make it miserable for that back four of Nuremberg, and it would be made even worse as Olkowski in the 87th minute would go ahead and make it 6, as that was pretty much the final bit of the game. Nuremberg would not get any more chances, and we would get a nice 6-1 win at home. Olkowski getting his 2nd goal of the season in the league as well, which is very nice. Yeah, what can I say? What a performance from the team. If I'm being honest, we had a couple more chances that we could have maybe capitalised on. I'm not saying it was a unflattering scoreline, but I think it was a fair enough one. I think we had plenty of good chances, and Theo Baer, I mean, he is just having the couple of games of his life, really. Last game he was fantastic, and this one absolutely fantastic as well. Not just scoring, getting some assists as well. And just a really good performance in general from him. We get a message just after the game from Danilo here, just saying he wants more game time. And actually, I went and looked again, and it's the same as with Eisfeld. Even though Eisfeld had been coming to me and I've praised him a lot, saying he's been fantastic, he has come to me, I think, a couple of times saying he's not getting enough game time, even though he's one of the first names on the team sheet. And it's similar with Danilo. He's just, I think it's a bug in the game. Heading to the Eintracht Stadion for the 2nd game of today's episode. It will be up against Braunschweig, a team that need to get as many points as possible as they were facing a relegation battle. And obviously we were looking to get all 3 points from this game as well, just because we need as many points as possible to ensure that we get promoted and also ensure that we get the title, as that was our main aim. It would be Braunschweig that wanted it more, however, in the first half, as they had the majority of chances and also the majority of possession, to be honest. The home side were looking much better, and even though they were sort of being forced to shots outside the box, they were looking the much better side. Luckily for us, we did have the counter-attack sort of on our side, as that was our best sort of trait for this whole season. We've really played well, being sort of the underdog, and Musa Kone shows that we have so much pace on the counter-attack, and Braunschweig just couldn't keep up with him as we dragged the defender out. Nobody was tracking Musa Kone's run, and it's a fantastic finish by Kone, making it 3 in 3, and it's a great finish by Kone. If I'm being honest, nothing much the keeper could do there. It's a great finish, and yeah, that was how the first half ended. We finished the first half pretty strong, pretty much defending after that point. As I said, Braunschweig were definitely the much better side, and we were a bit lucky to go in at half-time 1-0 up. And we actually started the second half a little bit better. Nice shot there from Theo Baer, as Gonvula wasn't quite back fully fit. He was on the bench in this game, and we might actually need him as Braunschweig was starting to pick up the pieces they left in the second half and getting a few good chances. Kublianski puts the ball into a demi, and it's a nice finish by the number 9 who just come on, and he made it his first goal of the season. What a way to get your first goal, bringing your team level at your home stadium as well, of all places. And that was Braunschweig back in the game at that point, and it was looking pretty good for them. And to be honest, Braunschweig could have got a possible second goal if they'd just kept their heads up, but sadly for them, Eisfeld was not having any of it, as he goes ahead and puts the ball into the top corner from a fantastic finesse shot from just outside the box. And as I said, he's been fantastic this season, nothing short of amazing. And if anything, with the awards at the end of the season, Eisfeld could be picking up player of the season, as he's just put in a fantastic all-round performance. There are a few players in the squad that have been fantastic, but Eisfeld has been pretty much the difference in this team in some games. And yet again, Thomas Eisfeld netting his 9th goal of the season, and it's a fantastic goal as well. We would get one final chance of the game, Gonvula forcing a good save from just outside the box from the keeper, but nothing would come of it. And you know, I just sort of put that in, just showing that Gonvula's back in the game, really, back in taking shots, and he's looking pretty good. Obviously, Theo Baer has been fantastic, and it's difficult to drop a player when he's playing so well. There is a chance that Gonvula does get a start in the next game, though, just because Theo Baer didn't score in the last one. I'm not saying just because you don't score, you get kicked out, but Gonvula's the main man. I can't just leave him out of the team. just because he's back from injury. He did say that he wants to be back in the squad for the next game against Karlsruhe. I believe I said he'd be able to go back in. I didn't want to rush him straight back, but because it was against Karlsruhe and it was a game I was simming, I was happy to put him back in the team, and he actually did get a goal on his return to first team football. So Gonvula, even though he was out injured for 3 weeks, he's looking like he's on track still for the Golden Boot, which is good news. Definitely really happy for him. You can see the Youth Scout report just in the background there. The best of the bad bunch was probably Herkstra, value of 600 grand, so that's not too bad. But the rest were pretty poor. Not a lot of great options really in the youth academy there. But you can see some great news. We have been promoted to the Bundesliga. Mathematically, it is impossible for us to, if we lost every game of the season for the next few games, we would still be promoted in second place. So it's really, really good news. I honestly breathed a sigh of relief at that point. And sort of the pressure was taken off us. I still wanted to win every game and really push Union Berlin to the title. We weren't far off. I won't tell you how many points we were off at this point. You won't see a league table until we get to the end of the season with the final 3 games. I'd like to keep it a bit of a surprise. It just gives it a little bit more tension, because if you see the table every game, after every game, there's no tension. We could possibly draw a game and still win the league. You never know. So I just decided to keep that a bit of a secret. Hopefully that's okay. And we headed into Paderborn with the home crowd behind us and just singing, we are going up and all the sort of chants. I'd imagine the actual atmosphere would have been fantastic. We were making a return to the Bundesliga for the first time, and I think it was about over 10 years. So really, really nice news. And to be honest, I wasn't too bothered about how this result would go against Paderborn. And it was a bit of an end-to-end start to the game, to be honest. The first 20 minutes, both teams getting some decent chances and some luck for the defence on both teams as well. But we would break the deadlock just before the 30th minute mark. There's Gonvula getting a goal there. First goal I've scored with him back from injury. I say this with a smile on my face. I just can't stop smiling with Gonvula whenever he scores. He's just such a good player. He doesn't look that good in the stats, but he's just fantastic. And for a second season running, he could get his second Golden Boot in a row. It's looking good for him, netting his 18th goal there. I'm just so happy that he's back and back in a scoring mood. Obviously, he didn't score the first 2 chances of the game, and he's missing a couple of chances in the first half, but you can't blame him. He still scored and we're still 1-0 up. There's not much we can complain about, or is there? Because just before the first half ended, Paderborn would get a chance as Oliveira Souza puts the ball into Price, and eventually Mikkel it gets worked into the box, and Zielinski, nice turn, puts it into Besedin, and he goes ahead and nets a nice goal there. Really, really nice bit of play from Paderborn. Nice passing play. Nobody celebrates with him. Again, not 100% sure why that happens sometimes, but that turn there just completely put Dekali out of the game there. And it was a really nice finish by Besedin. Not much I could do about that in terms of defending wise. Just really nice bit of passing. And sadly for us, we'd go in at half time 1-1. And to be honest, we probably deserved it. We probably deserved maybe going in at 1-0. I don't think we necessarily were deserving of the 1-1 draw. But luckily for us, Promel would be on hand to get us back in the game as he nets his second goal for the club and makes it 2-1 there. Sadly for us, Besedin just wasn't happy with his side going down to 2-1 there as he goes ahead and makes it 2-2. Again, nobody celebrating with him. I'm not sure if everybody at Paderborn just hates this guy. I'm not 100% sure why, because I believe he's their top scorer with 11 goals this season. But Besedin there goes ahead and gets a brace for himself and picks up the second goal of the game for Paderborn. Luckily for us, there's something that Promel wanted. He just didn't want to see his old club beat us to the league title. And if nobody else is going to score, well, Promel was going to score himself. And he goes ahead and nets his brace in this game as well, making it 3-2 just before the referee could blow his whistle for full time. And if I'm being honest, it was a fantastic goal as well. A really nice bit of play. He sends the defender on his way there, turns back inside onto his stronger foot and puts that into the top corner there, making it 3-2. And Promel has been nothing short of fantastic since coming in. If anything, he's started to push Robert Tescher out of that position. And that's the main reason I signed him, because he was a little bit cheaper to sign in January, and he's just basically that replacement for Robert Tescher, and what a way to announce yourself for a great second half of the season as Cromwell nets himself a brace. And if I'm being honest, it was a fully deserved win for us. A well-fought win. Paderborn deserved a couple of goals, and that, don't get me wrong, but it was a man-of-the-match performance from Gonvula as he gets a goal and an assist. If I'm being honest, Cromwell deserved something else, probably man of the match in that game. He played fantastically. But that will be the end of today's episode. Do hope you enjoyed watching. Do leave a like if you enjoyed the episode, and don't forget to subscribe for more Career Mode content. And I will see you for the next episode of Career Mode, which will be the final episode of the season. Will we win the league? Who knows? We are going up though, so that's always great news. I will see you for the next episode very soon. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.